Have you ever wondered why the Israel-Palestine conflict, a dispute that has spanned over a century, remains unresolved? A question that has intrigued many. The Israel-Palestine conflict is a labyrinth of historical events, geopolitical decisions, and deep-seated emotions. The complexity of this issue is such that it has shaped global politics and continues to influence international relations. But fear not. Our aim today is not to overwhelm you, but to shed light on this intricate tapestry of events. Let's embark on a journey to understand the history of this conflict and how it has shaped the world we live in today. To comprehend the present, we must first delve into the past. Our journey begins in the late 19th century with the rise of the Zionist movement. This was a political movement of Jews who sought to establish a Jewish homeland. This longing for a homeland was rooted in centuries of persecution and a deep connection to the biblical land of Israel. Moving forward to the year 1917, we come across the Balfour Declaration. This was a public statement by the British government during World War I, announcing support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. The declaration was a significant milestone in the Zionist movement, but it also ignited controversy, as it disregarded the political rights of the Arab Palestinians already living there. Fast forward to 1948, a year of monumental change. The State of Israel was officially established. The joy of Jewish people worldwide was palpable. But this was also a time of great tension and conflict, as neighboring Arab countries did not accept the creation of Israel. This sparked the First Arab-Israeli War, also known as the War of Independence for Israelis and the Nakba, or disaster, for Palestinians. The next major conflict, the Six-Day War, erupted in 1967. Israel, anticipating an attack by Egypt, launched a preemptive strike and ended up capturing the Sinai Peninsula, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. This war significantly altered the map and further complicated the conflict. Then came the Yom Kippur War in 1973, initiated by Egypt and Syria against Israel on the holiest day in Judaism. Despite initial success, the Arab forces were eventually repelled, and the war ended with no significant changes to the borders. Throughout the late 20th century, the conflict was punctuated by two significant uprisings known as the Intifadas. The first began in 1987 and the second in the year 2000. These were periods of intensified Palestinian protest and violence and harsh Israeli military responses. The conflict also saw numerous attempts at peace, most notably the Oslo Accords in the 90s, which aimed to fulfill the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination. Despite initial progress, the peace process eventually stalled and the conflict continued. Fast forward to the present day, the conflict remains unresolved, with recent events further escalating tensions. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict continues to be a significant geopolitical issue, affecting not just the Middle East but the world. This timeline of events gives us a glimpse into the deep-seated issues that have fueled this conflict for over a century. Now that we have a historical context, let's delve deeper into the core issues. The Israel-Palestine conflict, a labyrinth of complexities, has several key points of contention that have continually stymied peace negotiations. Firstly, there's the status of Jerusalem. Both Israelis and Palestinians consider Jerusalem their capital. For Israelis, it's the seat of their government and a sacred site in Judaism. For Palestinians, it's the future capital of their hoped-for state and a significant site in Islam. This dual claim over Jerusalem has resulted in a continuous tug-of-war between the two sides. Secondly, we have the issue of settlements in the West Bank. These are areas where Israeli citizens have been moving into, often resulting in the displacement of Palestinian communities. The international community views these settlements as illegal under international law, but Israel disputes this. Then there's the right of return for Palestinian refugees. During the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians fled or were expelled from their homes. Today, their descendants number in the millions. Palestinians demand the right to return to their ancestral homes, a prospect Israel views with apprehension due to demographic concerns. Next, we have the issues of borders and security. The 1967 Israeli-Arab War resulted in Israel capturing several territories, including the West Bank and Gaza Strip. Palestinians demand a state based on pre-1967 borders, a proposal Israel rejects citing security reasons. Lastly, both sides have deep-seated fears and mistrust towards each other, fueled by decades of violence and bloodshed. This makes negotiations all the more difficult, as each side is wary of making concessions that could be perceived as weaknesses. These are the issues that lie at the heart of the Israel-Palestine conflict, complicating efforts for a peaceful resolution. They are not just political or territorial disputes, but deeply ingrained in the historical, religious, and cultural fabric of the two peoples. To truly understand the conflict, one must acknowledge and grapple with these complexities as they are the crux of the matter. Fast forward to the present day, where does the conflict stand now? Let's delve into the recent developments. In the year 2021, Bahrain expressed hope for an equitable resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict at a travel and tourism conference. A year later, in 2022, the then US President Joe Biden pledged to continue supporting a just solution to the conflict, emphasizing that the United States would not give up on bringing both sides closer together. However, the year 2023 brought with it an escalation in tensions during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan and the Jewish holiday of Passover. This resulted in several violent incidents, including the unfortunate death of an Italian tourist in Tel Aviv and two British Israeli women near the occupied West Bank. The armed Israeli police raid on Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem's Old City further fueled these tensions. Amidst this turmoil, an interesting shift was observed in public opinion, especially in the United States. A Gallup poll revealed that sympathy for Palestinians among US adults reached a new high of 31%. This shift is attributed to increased access to information through social media and the influence of high-profile celebrities advocating for Palestinian rights. Interestingly, a significant shift in opinion was also noticed among Democrats, with 49% sympathizing with Palestinians compared to 38% favoring Israelis. However, support for the State of Israel remains high overall, particularly among Republicans and Christian evangelicals. These changes in public opinion could potentially impact future policies. The polarization between Republicans and Democrats on the issue reflects broader political divisions, hinting at the complexity of the situation. As we conclude, it's clear that the Israel-Palestine conflict is a complex issue, rooted in history and fraught with deeply entrenched beliefs and fears. The path to peace is challenging, but understanding the conflict's history and central issues is a step towards fostering dialogue and empathy.